If you watch more on Tyler Cohen's channel, there's no shortage of lies and disinformation. So he basically constantly attacks the right for everything under the sun, probably even global warming and the shower heads and whatever. And in fact, I mean, the moron is from California. I'm not sure, but I heard that California has droughts, and I'm not sure if Los Angeles has a local directive or law for shower heads. In New York City, there is a local directive for which shower heads you can buy, and you cannot find shower heads in New York City that do not comply to whatever gallons per minute and whatever law that is. My point is that more on Tyler Cohen is constantly lying, and there's no shortage of or exaggerations. So I'm gonna play him, and he's talking about a supporter of Trump that supposedly attacked the media at a rally, and let's watch. And then he accuses Trump for because Trump was kind of suggesting to the officers to take it easy on him because he couldn't. I mean, he was still at the podium talking while this was happening. I'm not going to play the entire clip because it's basically a guy getting out of water, and then the police snatches him. So basically, the guy climbed up that railing. I'm not sure. I mean, they said that he went to attack the media physically. But what we can see is the guy was holding onto that railing. So more on Tyler Cohen is going to blow it out of proportion that he tried to assassinate this and that and a third. And yet he takes these things, he blows them out of proportion constantly, but he always fails to see when the other way around was happening under Trump's presidency. Like you had the BLM riots, the Antifa riots, and then he has the audacity to blame Trump, that Trump has basically directed someone to attack I remember vividly when Trump called the members of a gang like animals or something, and Nancy Pelosi took their side like they're human beings and they're this and that. And yet when something negative happens in her life directly, it's Trump's fault, when she was the one that protected outlaws, basically, because these people were outlaws. Take a listen.
That's okay. He's on our side. We get a little itchy that way, Howard. No, he's on our side. You know what he's showing? At Butler, an amazing thing happened. You had two American flags, very far apart, held up, I think, by different cranes. They were very big flags, beautiful flags, and they were waving. And as that horrible event was taking place, the wind blew the flags together, and they formed a perfect angel. I don't know if we have it, but it was a perfect angel was formed. I'll tell you, a lot of things happened. If we haven't put it up, if we don't have it, that's it.
I'm not sure how much more of a direct link you need than Donald Trump whipping his supporters into a frenzy over the press on a daily basis, then watching these people then try to directly attack the press at his own rallies.
I'm not sure how can you direct link the Steve Scalise shooting directly to the press itself, radicalizing people to mass take up arms and mass shoot a bunch of Republicans. So slow your roll, lying shitty Brian.
The extent to which Trump employs the use of political violence as a tool.
Oh, the extent to which the left has employed political violence and riots and everything in between as a tool, isn't that the same?
Cannot be overstated.
Oh, yes, it can always be overstated by you. Like you always overstate things.
In fact, if you needed more of a causal link, the AP reported, quote, the altercation came moments after Trump criticized major media outlets for what he said was unfavorable coverage and dismissed CNN as fawning for its interview Thursday with his Democratic rival Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz.
I'm sorry, but that wasn't an interview. That was a puff piece. Exactly to all the videos that you do. They're puff pieces for Kamala and the Democrats. You have no objectivity. You are a terrible, whatever you want to call yourself, I don't know, reporter.
So Trump assails the media, leading to his supporter listening to that and moments later taking it upon himself to attack the media.
Oh, so this is were you there? He took it upon himself to attack the media. He didn't even get a chance to do it, whereas that guy, that lunatic in Washington, D.C. actually shot several Republicans. So I'm not sure if anything happened. Now, you finally had police at Trump's rallies because of the attempting assassination. So, no. You trying to blow things out of proportion in favor of the Democrats has been obvious. I mean, to me, I only had to see you once. And as I said, fact-checking you is like shooting fish in a barrel. I always find you lying.
As if there was any doubt about how January 6th happened, we are seeing reminders on an almost daily basis. And before Donald Trump inevitably tries to deny it, all you have to do is listen to his words during the police takedown.
Okay, we listened. He said that the guys with us were in our team and he's cool and calm and whatever. All you have to listen is Trump, this and that. I'm sorry, Lion Brian, Sphincter Lion. You are a terrible reporter, a partisan shill that shills constantly for the Democrats. You always blow out of proportion everything that the politicians on the right wing say. You always blow it out of proportion to favor and basically shill for the Democrats. So listening to you is like listening to a broken disc talking about the same things but nothing of substance. You didn't even cover the interview with Kamala Harris because it was an atrocious interview. All her policies are, the future, and we're going to fight for the middle class. Well, let me tell you this directly. The COVID relief bill had hidden taxes on small online sellers, and those people were trying to augment their income. And yet, the mighty Kamala and Biden said they're going to save the country and the middle class by taxing them more. And now she's trying to tax them even more when she becomes president. Great job. We will surely vote for her. 2 videos ago, you're trying to appeal to our reasoning that Trump is, or the Republicans are taking us for fools, for taking our money, selling us tchotchkes. You haven't done anything to win us over with objectivity. You just played the same tune to your sycophants, and I mean, you're the lead sycophant, and still try to appeal to us. I mean, no wonder a failure shills for another failure. Let's go on.
That's okay. He's on our side. We get a little itchy if we're that way, huh? No, he's on our side.
Trump saying, oh no, he's on our side, as if to apologize for the guy's behavior. It's okay when a Trump supporter tries to attack the media because, after all, he's on Trump's side, and violence is totally fine when it's perpetuated by someone on the right.
Oh, and violence is totally okay when it's perpetuated by somebody on the left? I did a video about the spike in crime, and you can see the spike in crime after Trump took over with all the riots and all the election deniers under his presidency. And yet you come here, try to appear objective and reasonable when in fact you are a shameless liar. I guess that title in that shitty book of yours was your subconscious trying to tell you something, that you are a shitty liar.
Got it. Trump then offered up, is there anywhere that's more fun to be than a Trump rally? That was his message to a deranged supporter trying to attack the media.
No, you're trying to actually connect those two things with that. He always says that thing. So don't try to misconstrue and disinform the people. You are a shill. I mean, I don't know if there's a more ugly word for the activity that you do. You are a total shilling for the Democrats. You're trying to promote Kamala, who's at best, I mean, mediocre is like being kind to her abilities that will actually destroy the economy. And she overtax everyone, and yet she claims that she will fight for the future. She has no policies, man. But I guess you just blind, or you just want to appear blind because the Democratic Party is using money to promote your channel. Let's go on.
That it's fun, that watching some lunatic try to kill the press is a good time in his opinion. In fact, I spoke with Nancy Pelosi today in an interview that'll be released this weekend, but here's a preview of it that specifically focuses on Donald Trump's use of political violence as a tool to get what he wants.
I'm sorry, but Donald Trump did not send that guy that attacked her husband. He didn't. And moreover, was Nancy Pelosi's party and policies that allowed that person to be free. I'm not sure if he had any other priors, but their policies allowed the person to be free. And that wasn't Trump sending that guy. That guy entered and Trump kind of derided them because it was their soft on crime policies that led to that. So don't try to spin it around that you are such a reasonable character. No. I mean, I know. I've been watching your channel. The levels of mendacity is like a fish in a barrel.
Which Nancy Pelosi knows particularly well, since he wielded it against her on January 6th and her husband shortly thereafter.
No, he didn't wield the violence against her husband. Stop lying. You're a lying shill. And I'm going to skip this part because I particularly dislike this woman who was soft on crime, and then she blames Trump for the things that happened in her life. So let's skip this shit. Oh man, this is long as hell. I wonder what did she have to say? What did she have to say? Was it how terrible? And now she's gonna be like, oh my God, that atrocious criminal. Yet a year ago or 2 years ago, she was defending several of the worst criminals, and now she's the victim, and she has an opposite stand to criminals. Isn't California a failed state? Like people shedding all over the streets, living in tents and all that.
So the fact is that when I say that we need to beat Donald Trump so badly at the ballot box to not only ensure that he doesn't win, but to wholly and completely repudiate Trumpism and send it to the ash heap of history, this is why. It's not just about his draconian agenda, although it's important to repudiate his draconian agenda.
Sorry, but we are living under the draconian agenda right now, the extreme left agenda. In my view, you are a radicalized extremist who leads 3 million mindless drones that I try to engage in the comments, and for some reason my comments never reach them. I can't agree with you, man, because you lack objectivism. Propositioning us Kamala Harris, and she coasted through her entire life. She didn't have to do the hard work to get where she is. This is what infuriates me, that are shills like you, and especially the KNN, the Kamala News Network, that are proposing her and trying to paint her in this illustrious light, to put it mildly.
It's also about the methods that he uses to perpetuate it. The only way to end the use of violence as a political tool is to show that far from it being effective, it's actually the opposite. It is why he's losing.
No, it's not losing because of your inventions right here. It's losing because there's like 70% of the media is oriented towards far extreme left, Marxist, Leninist agendas, and taxation without representation. I'm sorry. We are not being represented by Joe Biden, who's at the beach. We have not been represented by Kamala Harris, who coasted through her entire life. She just met the right people. They're not a good proposition. I mean, you could say as much as you want that the Biden economy is great, when in fact, people cannot make ends meet. And you want to say that the stock market is at the highest it's ever been? Sorry, dude, but ARK Invest, Cathy Wood said, first 3 years under Trump, the best economy in the entire history of the United States. And by that metric, I would say in the history of the world.
What we saw tonight at this rally should be a warning about what's to come as we move toward November, and the exact reason why we all need to ensure that he doesn't get anywhere near the Oval Office. And by the way, we also have an obligation to point it out every single time, which is why I'm making this video right now.
Why don't you make a video about how poorly Shlomola performed at the interview? I mean, maybe I'm a little bit rude by calling her Shlomola, but she has no substance to me. We're going to fight for the future. Our fight is for the future, and we're going to protect the middle class by raising taxes on the middle class. They always say that they're going to raise the tax on rich, and they never did it, or they can't do it. If we were to think one of the richest companies is Intel, ASML, and Nvidia. They got these extremely good deals to come back in the United States at the taxpayers' expense.
I was on Piers Morgan's show a few weeks back, for example, and Piers decided to try and both sides the issue of political violence in the immediate aftermath of Donald Trump's assassination attempt. That didn't sit too well with me.
I've seen that video. Is not interesting, and you call Trump a fascist, and by that token, you're a fascist. Let's move on. Okay, let's see what you have to say more.
Into thinking that this is a both sides issue when only one side is engaging in and perpetuating political violence.
I mean, I'm not sure how short of a memory do you have, but Steve Scalise shooting, that's all I have to say to you. Not to mention that people that were pushed out of the restaurants and under Trump's administration and all those things that happened to people wearing MAGA hats, where civilians got physical and violent to the MAGA supporters.
And it's gone on long enough in this country. We have the opportunity between now and November to end it once and for all in America.
I'm sorry, but if Kamala doesn't become the president, the Democrats are so desperate to hold on to power or to gain access to power, but they will propose anybody or anyone that fits a certain mold. Okay? Kamala is not even mediocre. She's below mediocre. I would say she's like in the first 25% of a capable human being. She's not used to working as hard as a president has to work. She had a job that paid her, or she had two jobs that paid her, I don't know, $200,000 a year, and she only had to show up 2 days a month. Yeah, I know, and now she wants to be the president.
But that's on us to decide. We can turn the page on this horrific chapter of our country, but it means we all take an active role in this election and don't just hope for an end to Trumpism, but actually go out and vote for it. Before you...
Okay, so Trump is also for IVF, which you probably covered in the opposite direction, telling us that he's not for IVF. He is absolutely for IVF, and Tulsi Gabbard had the discussion with him. I like combating you because it's easy. You're full of shit constantly. By the way, you might have some schmutz on your face. Let me see. Are you going to try to sell us the book?
Just a quick note, if you'd like to see more of my content, which is always free of advertising, sponsorships, and paywalls, please make sure to subscribe to this channel using the subscribe button right here on the screen. And if you'd like to support my work even further, you can grab a copy of my instant #1 New York Times selling book, Shameless, available for sale right now.
So, instant #1 Shameless. That's the book title, Shameless. It's instant #1 because you have million mindless drones, brainless drones, who outsourced their thinking to you, and basically they believe whatever you may invent. It's not a true instant #1 when you have a following of 3 million mindless drones. So it's not like you actually said something out of this world amazing. You did nothing. Probably you had several ghostwriters and you got money from the DNC or the Democratic Party to hire the people that work for you on this channel and probably write that shitty book. I mean, if you send it for free, I'll probably wipe my ass with it.
Like that's ever gonna happen. What a load.